I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please join us in the, yes, the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I've lost my words. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Sorry about that. My agenda covered, and I couldn't remember what was going on. All right. Vicki, any persons wishing to address the board? Thank you. Can I get an approval of the minutes of our meeting on October 4th?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. And can I get an approval of the agenda, please?
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. I didn't see any conflicts of interest this month. Okay, and can I get an approval of the consent agenda, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. All right, and on to the reports of the president.
President Parker, members of the board, I'm Lon Hurd, Director of Academics at Southeast Tech. And today I have the pleasure of introducing 3 of our transportation programs. And so with the diesel technology program, we have Nick Lanfear, we have Kevin Chatkowski, Lee Pottist, and Chase Bardsley. With our collision repair and refinish program, we have Mike Wendell and Micah Giebler. And not able to join us today was Ron Burchatz. And presenting first today will be our auto technology program. We'll be here with Pat Amor and Jason Merritt. I will turn the mic over to them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jason Merritt. I'm one of the instructors in the program. We actually have 2 instructors and 2 lab specialists in our program. In 2016, with the opening of the new building, we were able to do a program expansion. We expanded our student numbers, our new students' numbers by 30% in that year, and we actually grew a little bit this year as well. We have, right now, 68 students in our program. We started with 73 fall semester starts, which is actually a record number for our program. And we were only able to do that expansion because of the new building, and for quite some time we needed to start putting out some more graduates. Mm-hmm. I'm going to turn it over to Pat Amor. I guess a little bit about myself. I came here from Minnesota. I'd been teaching at a college system in Minnesota for more than 10 years before I came here. I've been here about 5 years. Started my career as a mechanic, auto tech, and got into the teaching end of it. I'm going to turn it over to Pat Amor to tell you a little bit about our curriculum.
Good afternoon. Pat Amor. My background was about 27 years in industry, mainly in Sioux Falls here as a technician, and I was a service manager at a dealership. This is my 8th year teaching at Southeast Tech. I just want to go over our 4 semesters here. We actually teach 8 different sections in that 2-year period. The students are ASE nationally tested in each one of these sections. It's a web-based test that they take. We're pretty proud of the fact that 96% of them pass those tests, and a national average is in that 50 to 60% range. I'll go back to Jason here.
Yeah, one of the things that our program does is we start students in any semester, and this lets us have 2 graduating classes a year in December and May, and that's actually something that the expansion, again, has allowed us to really expand on that. And we should have about 10 coming out in December and 20 in May.
Great.
We have been nominated a couple times for an award. There's a magazine called Tomorrow's Technician. This magazine is mainly for schools, and students who are in automotive training programs, and so they look for nominations of a program for the school of the year, and then it goes to the top 20 ranking, and then you submit a video submission, and that video submission then is ranked among 4 different divisions. And in 2015, we were ranked first in our area, which is the Western Division. We're very proud of that, the top 4 in the nation. We were nominated again. This is from industry and all kinds of different entities will nominate us. And we gained the top 20 ranking again this year. And we'd like to show you our video that we submitted. It tells you most of what you probably need to know about our program, I guess. And so with that, I'd like to play the video for you. It's 4 minutes.
This is a 2-year program. We follow the ASE or NATIF guidelines. 8 sections we go through. We pride ourselves on an hour of classroom and 3.5 hours of lab, which is a lot of hands-on training.
In addition to faculty and the quality faculty that we have tremendous facilities. I came from the Minnesota State Colleges and University system, 32 campuses, and I think I was in every one of them. None of those campuses have anything close to what we have in terms of an automotive technology facility. It is modern, state-of-the-art, and our faculty are using it to its fullest in terms of educating our students.
English is my second language, and to be able to learn the English and then the language and at the same time learn the career, it's been difficult for me, but they also been like getting through with me and then talking to me, and then they've been supporting me. Makes me feel that there's people that care about others.
It starts all the way at the administrative part of our school with good support. When you give good support to the instructors involved, they're able to give good support to the students. And I think also that the teachers really love what they do. They love the industry, they are car nuts, all of them, and the students see that.
They're very, very flexible for you. They do their best to make it easy for you and to help you out and to make sure you know what you're doing. Everywhere I go, everybody's got a smile on their face. They love what they do. They love working with the people here and the students, and it's just a very welcoming environment.
I think Southeast Tech has exceeded my expectations. I mean, not only are the facilities amazing and the teachers are knowledgeable and they know what they're doing and they want to help you learn and they encourage doing outside work, but it's also just a hassle-free process of doing everything from enrolling and doing general education and doing your main, courses. It's just been phenomenal and an amazing experience.
Our track record for the past 5 years has been 100% employment with our graduates and 93% of them in the automotive field when they leave Southeast Tech. So we're very excited that employers are looking for our students and we're able to provide a good quality student.
To our program, with the budget cuts and stuff that's been nationally known, we worked a lot with industry to kind of get down to the bread and butter of what has to be completed. We worked closely with ASE and NATEF. We used with what we had on hand, and we innovated some of that stuff. We tried making some more simulation type training versus buying a bunch of more vehicles. We've worked a lot with recycling facilities, trying to get some more used stuff around. There's a lot of industry around that stepped up to the plate and have helped us in a lot of different ways.
So if we can get the newest technology, these students are going to have to keep learning as things go. We have self-driving cars coming down the line. We have cars that are going to automatically stop if something comes in front of it. We want to be on the cutting edge of that, so our students are the best of the best that we can turn out.
The community work we do here is great. Being able to work with the community and helping others and helping these younger kids who are just learning how to drive, be able to walk them through how to maintain their car and how to fix their car on the side of the road if something like that happens.
On a regional basis, we'll get folks that that travel to Nordstrom's to look at jobs or to visit us that have been through other programs. Now, I can't speak for the whole country, but I can speak for what we've seen regionally. And I believe that Southeast Tech has a program that has grown to be the top program in the country. Just from some of the things I read in the journals and some of the things we hear from people that call our nationally syndicated Under the Hood show, and as we talk with them, there's a buzz out there about what's happening in South Dakota at Southeast Tech. And so we're very excited to know that in our town of Sioux Falls, that we've got one of the premier facilities and premier programs in the entire United States, and we're excited to brag about that.
Any questions?
I don't have any, no.
Then we'll move on
Great.
to the Collision Center. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Mike Giebler. I'm the lab specialist for the collision program. This is my 5th year at Southeast Tech. Prior to that, I was in industry for about 6 years. 3 of those, I was a lead paint technician. So I've been here for 5 years assisting Ron and Mike here in the collision and the refinish part of the lab. So I'll turn it over to Mike here for you.
Hi, my name is Mike Wendell. Thanks for having us. As you see by the picture, that's why I don't take pictures. They don't come out very well. I am the paint instructor. I've been with Southeast since '99. So I started when I was 17. I was 20 years in industry before I came to Southeast. Math is not one of my good strong points. We also went through the expansion, and this is a picture of the new repair facility. This is the outside door going in here, and we have a separate door now for refinish. We have over doubled our size. We actually got to take over Otto's old lab, which greatly expanded our program. We now have 3 paint booths. We had 2 before. One was older than I was, and it worked sometimes, but we just made do with what we had, and now we have a fantastic new facility. As you can see by the pictures, the pure size of it, that's just the refinish lab. So that's only half of it. And then what that has done for us is we've got to expand on the tools we've got to buy. The collision side has anything state-of-the-art that any body shop would have. There's body shops here in Sioux Falls that would kill to have some of the equipment that we have. They got 3 frame racks now and 3 lifts, I believe it is.
We have a drive-on inspection rack, which it could also do alignments as well. We have 2 two-post lifts, and then we have these red and mid-rise lifts. We actually have some black ones too. We have one for every single stall, which makes it a lot easier for us to work on a vehicle. We're not on the ground, on our knees, on the cement, on our backs. We're up in the air working at a good height.
Because we are also an ASC certified program, and also we are aligned with ICAR, which is kind of the governing body that pushes our industry. We are the only one in this area that has that. The ICAR thing has come up huge. For what we offer out there, if they pass all the tests that they're taking, they're come out, it's between $3,000 and $4,000 worth of ICAR certifications when they're done. Employers love that because they don't have to pay for it. So it's been really good for us. We've had really positive feedback from the tours that have come through. Our numbers are down a little bit because we were going through construction. It looked a little messy. Now anybody who's come through there on a tour loves it. And we've had industry people in there, absolutely love our facility. We need more graduates in our program. There's twice as many jobs out there than we have graduates. Every year we have people. We had one today come in an industry, and they want more of our graduates. We just got to get them out there.
Yeah.
Any questions?
I think so.
Do you guys have any strategies for trying to recruit more people?
It has picked up this year as far as the advertising has gone up and above what we had in the past. And the tours, about every other Friday, every 3rd Friday, there has been more and more people in the collision tours now, and even a lot of females that I've seen. We had a group come through today, and almost all females, and I handed out 4 or 5 business cards who wanted to contact me. So that's a good thing. I have noticed the increase in foot traffic through our program now that we've got the expansion and the advertising that we've been doing.
Do you guys go out to other schools as well?
We have in the past, yes. We go down to CTE twice a year, the way it is, and we pick up a lot of them from CTE.
Sure.
I think in the class right now, I'd say probably 15 of them, if not a little bit more, came from CTE. So we're picking a lot of them out there.
You said the employers are coming to you, or you see there's a high need in Sioux Falls directly or sort of outside?
High need in Sioux Falls and outlying areas even more so. And one of the troubles we have is when people move to Sioux Falls to go to school, they won't leave. And it's kind of hard to get them to go to Huron, Mitchell, where the jobs are, and actually paying very well to try to get them to go to another town, and they won't leave. But most of our students we have now are working part-time in body shops, and that just transfers right over to full-time. They hire them right away, so there are not that many graduates out there without jobs. Over the last 15 years, we've had 100% placement for anybody who wanted a job. There's always those students who are going back to farm or something, they're going to do this on the side. So we have to count that for the state, but our department, anybody who wanted a job, there was a job for them.
Do you have any idea what the starting wage is for graduates for your program?
I believe on the school thing, it's about $14 to $15 an hour to start.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name's Chase Bardsley. I'm a new diesel instructor at Southeast Tech here. I've been teaching since August. This is my first time teaching. I've got about 10 years of industry experience. Originally from Arizona, graduated from Universal Technical Institute down in Arizona, and actually got recruited up here to start a job. That's how I ended up here. And so, yeah, glad to be a part of Southeast Tech.
Have you been here through a winter yet?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I'm from northern Arizona, so we have plenty of snow.
Okay, all right.
I did live in Wisconsin for about 6 years.
Okay, I'm relieved to hear that.
Plenty used to it. But, yeah, excited to be a part of Southeast Tech and the Sioux Falls School District.
Hi, my name's Nick Lanfear. I'm the over-the-road truck instructor. You probably don't recognize me in the picture, minus the beard. So I've been here. This is my third year teaching at Southeast Tech. I graduated from WyoTech, kind of on the other spectrum from Chase. I spent about 12 years in the industry, did a little bit of dealer training through a dealer on the west coast of the United States, taught with or for WyoTech for about 2.5, 3 years, and moved to South Dakota to be closer to family. I'm from Wisconsin originally as well, so perfect. Kevin?
Hello, I'm Kevin Shodkowski. As you notice, I don't have my beard anymore. I took mine off and he grew his. But anyway, I've been here. This is my second full year. Got hired a year ago, and into the diesel department. And over the past few years, I graduated from WyoTech years ago, the same place he did a few years earlier. And I actually taught at WyoTech for about 19 years. Then I had a couple years in Nebraska in an automotive program, and then I wanted to get back into diesel, and this one came up, and that's another 2 years here. So I worked in the industry about 14, 15 years before starting to teach. So.
Hello, my name is Lee Pottist, and I am the off-highway ag and construction second-year instructor. Did quite a few years with Deere and Company out of Waterloo, Iowa, and then also AGCO out of Jackson, Minnesota, and Heston, Kansas area. Originally from South Dakota, so it's kind of coming home for me, and we're working on a lot of the newer equipment and everything and building a new program that we're putting in place now, and we're kind of focusing everything in towards the newest equipment and everything being fully autonomous. Ag and construction has really changed a lot in the last 5 years, so they brought me in to kind of modernize a little bit and keep going forward.
The first year we have a unique program through the diesel department. We did expand also with automotive and collision, but they put the second year of diesel into the hub when we're still in the Wood Center the first year. And what happens is the first year students come in, they can start either the first or second semester, and those are the classes that we have up there. I teach the engine theory and the fuel systems, and then I teach that every semester back to back. Chase is the other one that works in the Wood Center, and he takes care of the last 3, heating and air conditioning, basic electrical, and basic hydraulics. The students can start, kind of like automotive, they can start in either semester, either first or second semester. So we have spring starts, we have fall starts. Of course, the fall starts are much larger than the spring. Looks like we're going to have about 8 or 9 maybe in the spring starting up in the diesel department. And then the second year, the students will have a choice or have to choose a path, either on-road or OTR, over-the-road trucks, or ag and construction. And I'll let Lee and Nick talk about those 2 courses.
So I teach the second year over-the-road truck courses, and those include PMI, which is preventive maintenance and inspection, so basically like a DOT inspection for any over-the-road truck, school buses, things like that. They all require an inspection federally, so we teach that. Truck electrical, which will be anything multiplex wiring, starting systems, batteries, things of that nature that are specific to a truck or bus. Powertrains are transmissions, differentials, drive lines, suspension work, things like that. Brakes are exactly that, air brakes, hydraulic brakes, disc brakes, things of that nature. We get into that. Suspension, we get into alignments, things like that with our Hunter alignment machines. And then electronic fuel systems is leaning heavy on the emission side of everything. So how we meet industry demand, because about 80% of what the technicians will end up doing when they leave school is working on emissions issues or complaints, since that's been regulated so much. So that's it in a nutshell with over-the-road truck courses that I teach. So I'll turn it over to Lee, and he teaches the off-highway.
Right, on the ag and construction side, if they choose that path, and they can also choose we've got quite a few of them looking at the 3-year program where they're going to go through the core classes and then do off-highway and then coming into on-highway or vice versa. Auxiliary drive systems, this is going to be anything from different kinds of attachments and stuff they put on construction equipment. We will cover a lot of basic shop skills, like how to handle all this big, heavy equipment. Some of this stuff is incredibly heavy. We've got a lot of hoists and cranes and everything to handle this type of equipment in the shop there. We do teach a lot of welding, as well as everything else with PTOs and different type of draft control and hitches, everything else. The next part we're going into now is electrohydraulic. This whole industry has gone pretty much autonomous, so computers in control of everything, so it's not a lever pulling on a lever to make your hydraulics work anymore. It's just basically program your computer, put in your prescription map, and everything happens automatic. So we're giving them all the building blocks they can get going on that. Starting in the spring, we'll start out with the powertrain. That's when we get into all the different drive systems, and even that's taken some quantum leaps. We used to basically have manual shift and power shift transmission. Now they're getting everything as hydrostat drives and IVT, CVT technology, all computer controlled. To tie it all together, we're going to come into the last part of the spring semester with total machine control. This is where it's going to look at a prescription map on a monitor, hook up to a GPS system, and it controls everything from your seed rate placement to how much dirt you're going to remove if you're going to be taking a dirt scraper into there, all the way up to how does this computer monitor control everything on the machine, from your ground speed to your seat placement. Everything you can possibly imagine nowadays is pretty much all run by computer control, and you just load in your prescription maps or whatever you're going to do, and you let the machines do the work. With that, it creates a lot of new challenges for what are you going to cover with these students to get them prepared to go into that kind of environment. Any questions at this point? Yes.
Are they able to work while they're in school as well? Is there restrictions due to certifications or?
No, we've done quite a bit as a whole program to try to put all of our core classes from 7:30 until noon in the mornings. They'll still have their gen eds in the afternoon they can work around, and I would say most of our students right now, by the time they get into the second year, they are working in industry already. In the off-highway program right now, most of the work that we're doing is live work on live vehicles that come in that need to have service work done on them, reconditioning or just repair.
And with my students, 100% of my students right now that are in the second semester, engine theory and fuel systems, 100% of them work after school, and several of them work full time. They put in a 40-hour week after our 36, 37-hour week at school. So there's a big need for technicians in all of our programs here.
That's pretty accurate. My group of guys too. That me as well. It's all of my students are working, and I would say 80% of them are working full 40 or more hours a week on top of their school loads. So.
As you're talking, I'm looking at all of your hands, and I'm expecting to see greasy, dirty hands, because when I think about people who work on cars and trucks, that's what I think of. And so my dad was a mechanic way back when, and I remember the dirty hands, and so I'm thinking about how much it's involved. And like you're talking about computers, and not that there's not any dirt about it, but obviously it's way different than it was several years ago, and it is so much more computer. So I appreciate that you guys are really looking at that, and how can you make your program be the best and have our students be ready to hit the ground running and know all of that, and even maybe more than what they actually will get to use when they get a job. So you think about those employers in Sioux Falls or the area who are going to buy the latest, greatest technology. They'll have an employee who can say, I know how to do that. I've already done that. So what a huge benefit, and a kudos to you guys for being forward thinking and getting that information and those skills and things into the students prior to them graduating, which will set them up to be even better employees. So thank you for all of the work that you guys have done, and I'm sure your families appreciate clean hands too. So just an observation.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Can I get a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Yeah, well done, all of you guys. I think that the programs are successful, and we're getting national recognition, which I think is awesome. And, it's such a needed field. My husband has a moving company, so, the amount of times he's underneath a truck trying to fix something, I think, why didn't he just hire somebody to do that for him? Then he wouldn't come home with the greasy hands.
That's right.
But it's such a needed field, all of yours. So I just, kudos to all of you, and thanks for coming down and helping us learn a little bit more about your programs.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, it's approved.
President Parker, members of the board, Jim Jacobson, Vice President of Academics. Hang on a minute, guys. Just 1 second. On behalf of our campus, I want to recognize and thank our transportation team for their presentation, but I also want to point out a couple other things. All three programs talked about new buildings, new spaces, and expansion. And that is all work that is above and beyond your teaching load, recruiting students, assessing students. So on behalf of our campus, I want to thank all of them. I also want to take a minute. I could tell a story or two about every one of these individuals. They're all very humble, but I'm going to highlight one person because I'll never forget his interview, and that is Lee Pottist from our diesel program. All of these men are truly not telling you the whole story about their background. Lee wrote the training manuals for, was it John Deere, Lee? He wrote the training manuals for the John Deere Corporation, and when a dealership somewhere in the country had a project that their technicians could not figure out, Lee flew out and solved that problem. That's the level of instructors we have in our program. So let's give these gentlemen a round of applause.
Good job.
Thank you.
So let's shift gears to an academic program development update.
Shift gears, no pun intended, right?
I didn't even think of that, Ken. Thank you. New program development and research is critical to meeting the workforce needs throughout the region. As you all know, we're in the second year of a new strategic plan for Southeast Technical Institute. And embedded within that strategic plan is Pillar 3.0, which talks about programs and goals. And sub-goals within 3.0 identify a number of goals which address new degree program development, as well as short-term and customizable training opportunities. So this is a significant activity on our campus. I also want to share that under President Griggs' leadership, we have engaged our Ed Design and Delivery Committee to help with new program research and design. And in fact, our group will be meeting Friday, and we have asked that group to help as we sort through what kinds of programs we should be offering in the future at Southeast. I would like to highlight a number of programs that are under consideration, give you an update on the status of those programs, as well as the process to bring them forward. First is we are looking at developing a Huron RN cohort. We were approached by David Dick, the CEO of the Huron Regional Medical Center, about a year ago. And I traveled up to Huron and met with him, and they have formed a regional nursing task force in Huron, but it reaches about a 90-mile radius around their community to address an almost critical shortage of nurses in that part of the country. And he wanted to know if there'd be any possibility that we could collaborate and bring our RN program to their region. And through a series of meetings, hard work from a number of individuals, like to recognize Kristen Paseo, our nursing programs director, I'm pleased to tell you that about 10 days ago, we've come to a verbal agreement to start a cohort up in the Huron area for an RN program. This cohort is going to be modeled on the Sanford LPN cohort that we offered here in Sioux Falls, in which it's really going to focus on a couple things. Kind of a grow your own approach or an upskilling, and that is the partners within this task force are going to be identifying individuals or family members who would like to move from being an LPN to an RN, and then they're going to be sponsored into this program. And I can tell you that our Sanford LPN model was very successful, so we're looking forward to this. Students will be sponsored by one of the agencies. So for instance, David Dick at the Huron Regional Medical Center, he's hoping that they can find perhaps 2 to 4 employees throughout their system that would like to continue working and work on their RN degree at the same time. Timeline for this program, we are looking at students will be able to begin their bridge courses in January with a fall 18 start. We do have some steps to get through. As I said, we have a verbal agreement to move this program forward. We do need to take this to the South Dakota Board of Nursing for approval, and David Dick is working through some of the details as far as how many students each agency would try to identify. I think there's a couple key takeaways from this partnership that I think of. Number one, I think we're responding to an industry request. We were approached by a hospital that we may not have normally worked with, and we've tried to respond to that request. But secondly, and I'm almost more excited about this, I think this program is going to allow us to create a footprint in a part of the state that we may not have been as active in as we could have. And I think it's going to allow us to have a stronger presence in that part of the state and do a better job of career awareness, education, and recruiting. Next program I'd like to highlight is Vet Tech. And for those of you, Mr. Alberti, you serve on the Southeast Tech Council. You know that we've had considerable discussions about this program, so I'd like to update you on that. We are proposing to start a veterinary assistant diploma program and a veterinarian technician associates in applied science degree program. This program, if we move this forward, is going to require extensive capital outlay to bring it forward. We've worked with Jeff Kreider, the district's architect. Building renovations are going to be about $1.3 million, and equipment needs to meet national accreditation standards are going to be just under $200,000. So this would be about a $1.5 million project. In addition to that occurring on our campus, we also need to secure a facility to house large animals and production livestock for lab experiences for our students. I joked with President Griggs that he has quite the view out his window and he could easily keep an eye on the cattle, but he did not seem to jump on that. opportunity. I think our program is unique. It's no secret. Globe is closing their program in Sioux Falls. We surveyed industry to check the pulse of, is there a need for a program? I am happy to report that we had an outstanding response rate when we surveyed industry throughout South Dakota, Southwest Minnesota, and Northwest Iowa. But we've also heard from industry and from others that how could we make our program unique? And we want to have an increased emphasis in our curriculum on large animal production livestock and supporting research facilities such as Sanford, lab tech skills. So we've embedded additional large animal and production livestock courses in our curriculum, and we've also embedded 2 courses that would deal, which would help support research facilities. We have been working closely with Representative Mickelson, who serves on our STI Council. He had asked that our academic team submit a future funds proposal, which he would present to the governor. That has happened this week, and we continue to work through that process. I was contacted this morning by Representative Mickelson and asked for additional information, which we're supplying. And this program, we're looking at a proposed start date of 2018. We're also working on a dental apprenticeship program. We're working with the Southeastern chapter of the South Dakota Dental Association. Meetings have shown that there's a significant shortage of dental assistants throughout the region, particularly in Sioux Falls. This is a program that Lon Hurd offered through Training Solutions, which is now our corporate ed division. So he's been a godsend as we've worked through this. It'd really be a matter of resurrecting the program. The apprenticeship would be a 1-year program. It would be 144 hours of classroom and lab instruction and 2,000 hours of on-the-job training. It would be a registered apprenticeship, which would include radiography and advanced functions. Those are the 2 skill sets that the dentists have been very clear they would like to have graduates have when they are employed. Students would be encouraged to sit for the Dental Assistant National Board's exam, the Danby exam. We will have some building renovations that will be necessary to house this program. We've started that conversations with Rich Kloon and Jeff Kreider. There will also be some extensive equipment needs for this program. The local dentists have indicated that they probably can help us out in that area. They shared at our last meeting, at any given time, they would believe that there are 5 dental clinics in Sioux Falls being renovated. And they said that we could be have the potential to receive some equipment that's only 2 to 3 years old. So that could help offset the cost of starting that program. Looking at a start date of fall 18 for that program. Next program I'd like to highlight is our carpentry pre-apprenticeship program. We have been working with contractors throughout the region, AGC, and the Home Builders Association to help them meet a fairly critical workforce shortage that they have in the construction trades. What we're looking at designing is a pre-apprenticeship program that would prepare high school students who have an interest in a carpentry career to get some hands-on experience before they graduate and then slide into the apprenticeship programs that are offered by the AGC or the home builders. So what we're doing is looking at a program for juniors and seniors. It would be a 10-week summer program, 40 hours per week. It would combine classroom, lab, and on-the-job training, and students would be paid for that entire experience. As the students move through their 10-week experience, they would have progressively more job time and less classroom and lab time. We've been working closely with the CT Academy, Josh Hall and his team as we develop this program. And one of the things we've discovered, one of the balancing acts we've had is not stepping on other programs' toes. CT Academy is doing a nice job with rolling out internship opportunities for all of their students. And Lon Hurd, Dr. Peters and I were just at CT. Lon was at Tuesday. And meeting to make sure that what we offer is not competing for students, but rather complementing and giving students opportunities to grow their skills. We do have some space needs and equipment needs for this program, but we are hoping, working closely with Josh, that we may be able to use their facilities. We've had some real positive meetings with some groups that may be available. And this would be a potential start date of summer 17. Next program is bookkeeping diploma. This was previously offered on our campus and it was shelved. We'd like to bring the program back. We are working with the state on the process to do that. This program would focus on accounting basics, payroll, computerized accounting, and soft skills. Looking at a start date of fall 18 for that program. Mentioned our partnership with CTE. I'd like to share some updates on what we're doing with them to increase concurrent enrollment opportunities for their students. We want to continue to build on our relationship with the CTE Academy by offering additional concurrent education courses for their students. We've currently offered accounting 1 and 2 at the CTE Academy. We are looking at adding a pretty full slate down there. We would like to add CNA, Certified Nursing Assistant, medical terminology, intro to business, a computer hardware class, which would support the Code to the Future initiative that the district is undertaking, and we've met with Doug Morrison on that, how we could work together. And actually, that's a bigger project. We really see that starting with CTE students, working with Southeast, and then we're continuing that dialogue with Dakota State University. So that could be an exciting path for our students. And then we're also looking at some additional IT courses down the road that we could offer. Some of these courses would start in January of 18, and some would start in the fall of 18. As far as the process to get these programs approved, if we were operating under the old rules of the South Dakota Board of Education, I could stand here and tell you exactly how we're going to move each of these forward. However, we have a new South Dakota Board of Technical Education, and we've been working with Kelsey Smith, who's been an interim director in the Department of Education, and we will be working with Nick Wendell, who will be the new director for the South Dakota Board of Technical Education. I can give you a pretty definitive answer on a couple programs on how we're going to move these forward, but Kelsey has indicated that since the board is so new and that Nick will be starting, that she needs to get some guidance so that they handle these proposals consistently across all 4 technical institutes. What I do know is that for the vet tech program, we would use the prospectus process, which has not changed from when we worked with the South Dakota Board of Education. We have our prospectus 98% complete. We're ready to send that up. Several of these other programs in the past would have been letters from our academic team and a short presentation at the Board of Education. What we don't know is will that be the process with the South Dakota Board of Technical Education. Waiting for updates. Actually, Craig Lon and I need to know sooner than later, but they're working hard on it. Finally, in closing, I would like to recognize Lon Hurd, our Director of Academic Support, and Dr. Craig Peters, our other Director of Academic Support, and thank them for all that they do every day to support our students and programs. This is a lot, folks, and I really appreciate their teamwork and all that they bring every day. So I don't think we say that often enough. So I do appreciate all that you do. Do you have any questions for me?
I do have a question about the dental apprenticeship. So you had mentioned with the Huron nursing RN cohort getting the approval of the Board of Nursing. We need to do the same thing for the Board of Dentistry on the apprenticeship.
I'm going to turn that over to Lon.
Here, and then that document that would be drafted out of that partnership would then go to the state board of board. So yes, that process is pretty well defined, and as Jim said in his presentation, we've been down that road before.
actually have all the documentation for when we did it before, so it really is changing dates and whatever changes to the curriculum that we do in that effort. So it's not complicated, it's just a process.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
Any additional questions?
Okay. Mine's not a question. I just want to acknowledge all the hard work all of you have done, because it's really easy to just keep doing the same thing and not really change. And all this innovation and response to the workforce and to what the industry needs is fantastic. And thank you for all the hard work to get to this point.
Any other questions? Okay, can I get a motion to approve the academic program development report?
So move.
Okay, any discussion? Technical, yeah. Just again, kudos to the whole team. I mean, it's just, it's really exciting to see all these programs as they come to fruition, hopefully. So, new process with the technical board, but hopefully not very arduous, so that we can get these going sooner than later. So thanks.
Jim, what do you do in the afternoons? You guys, and I agree with everything that's been said. You know, I think they do this intentionally before the STI portion of this. But no, there's been a ton of work done, and the entire team deserves credit for it. I think Bob Griggs coming on board a year ago in September was a huge step forward to reinvigorate and look at the entire facility through a different lens. And I can't thank him often enough for his leadership through this and for the engagement that clearly the entire team has picked up on. So thank you all.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Can I get all those in favor signify by saying aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. All right, that motion passes. And on to good news.
Yes, President Parker, members of the board, it's always a pleasure to speak in front of you, especially when you're doing the good news report. However, it seems like the whole report is a good news report, so I don't think it's just these, but everything that's been talked about so far is all good news. But I do have some special ones that I do want to mention to you. The first is the Aspen Institute's College Excellence Program. This is basically an award that colleges can receive, chosen from across the country. Only 150 are chosen to be on the Aspen list, and Southeast is on the Aspen list. You might have already known that Lake Area was on the list and actually won the award. You also know Mitchell's on the list, and Mitchell is the other South Dakota one that is on the list. I did find out one thing that I didn't know about the Aspen, and that is that only 50% of the community colleges at the most could be on the list at any one time. So in South Dakota, with only 4 of us, only 2 could be on the list at any one time. And so now it's our opportunity. We are writing the report right now that we have to submit this Friday. That will help us as far as what the placement will be. So we're in the 150. We do this extra work on it. We send that in, and then they go through all that and they determine where you are on that list. I don't know how long before it comes out that we'll actually see that, but we're hoping to be in that top range on there too. We deserve to be in that top range on there. Along with the Aspen, there's another one called the Siemens Award, and they're a combination with the Aspen. You can get up to a $50,000 grant award to particular programs, so this is more at the program level. Only 10% of the community colleges are up for that possibility, and only 3% of those who are actually in both the Aspen and the Siemens. So we're in the top 3% if you look at the two together. Lon Hurd is actually directing that effort for those programs. You can submit up to 3. We're submitting our mechanical engineering technology, diagnostic medical sonography, and our mechatronics programs for that award. And that $50,000 can be used for a variety of areas, and part of the application you go through and you decide what you're going to do, what you're asking for, and why you think that you deserve that particular award. So we're working on that. That one also is due Friday, so this has been a really busy week doing institutional research, trying to get all that stuff ready, and there's a lot of questions you have to answer for it as well. The next one is the Citibank grant. That's another exciting one, and that's one you may have already heard about. But basically, we did get the city grant for $250,000. It's a joint effort between the Sioux Falls School District and Southeast Tech. I will say Dr. Maher has been excellent to work with in terms of figuring out how we're going to do this, and he's very excited about it. Josh Hall has been excellent to work with. I think we've got everything, at least the beginning part. We just heard about the award, and I think the very next week they gave us the money, and they're already asking me now, what are you doing? It is like, wow. So I know Josh has the internship coordinator part completed. I believe that person is someone that he already had that they can move into this position. When it comes to the career coach, which is more the one that's directly related to Southeast, we're working on the job description. That should be done soon. That actually we're looking at will be a Sioux Falls School District employee, but we'll obviously have the connections made to Southeast Tech. We're looking at it being housed in CT Academy, but they're going to work with all of the high schools. And we're also doing some outreach with that because the grant is for 16 to 24-year-olds. So any graduate of the K-12 system who didn't go on to get any other kind of skilled training, we certainly want to reach out to them and get them into skilled training. So it's not just the high school students, it is that other group too that we're going to be working with. So we're getting all that set up. Hopefully the job description will go out at least next week, and we can get someone in that position and get it going. It is 1 year. We got to spend all the money in 1 year. Well, they might let us carry some because we're starting so late, but basically we have to spend it in 1 year. We have to show results in 1 year, and so we've got our work cut out for us, but we'll get it done. The next one is I just wanted to talk a little bit about that diversity sector breakfast that we're having. I think we've talked several times about the different breakfasts we've had for industry groups, manufacturing, IT, and so forth. This is on diversity. This one came up from every single breakfast we've had. Throughout the different industries, diversity is a big issue, and how to get those individuals trained into those careers. When you saw that automotive student, there is an example of a case where we're trying to find a way to get these skilled training opportunities out there for our entire population. And so this is going to be our first of probably several sector breakfasts or some kind of meetings, and we've already had meetings with other groups, but to really talk about diversity and how does Southeast Tech fit into that area, and what can we do and what support can we provide to industry in that area. So it is going to be November 17th, which is a Friday. I believe the start time is 7:30. So if you are able to come, we'd sure like to see you there. It's going to be, I believe, a very interesting sector breakfast. So a lot of topics, and we've got to figure out how to narrow it down into something we can really focus on. I do have one more. The Director of Admissions position at Southeast Tech has been open for a fairly long period of time. We did offer the position now, and the person has accepted it. Megan Fisher is the person's name. Start date we're looking at is probably mid-December. Megan's background right now, she has been the South Dakota State University working at their foundation. Previously, before that, she was at USF for 12 years. A good share of those years were in some type of enrollment management. So we're really looking forward to the perspective that she's going to bring into our admissions, recruitment, and our marketing campaigns, and how we can continue to get more students into Southeast so we get more students into the workforce. So that is my good news report.
Great. Thank you. Yeah.
Any questions?
Finish the week strong, right? With all of your stuff that's due on Friday.
I gotta tell you, it's just driving me. I took a break last week and I went off and I'm on the plane and I'm typing away and my wife's saying, "Hey, you're on vacation." No, but it'll get done.
Yeah. It'll all be worth it.
It'll be worth it.
Saturday morning.
It's always exciting to write about what we do because we are so good at so many things. It just makes you feel proud.
Yeah, very good.
Very good. Thank you.
All right. Can I get a motion to approve the good news report?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. All right. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Great. We are adjourned. Thank you.